You're doing this on your own.
Mhm.
All right. Zoom. Hello, everybody. This is Elijah Keating from wisdomseekers.net, and we are today here to reintroduce you to Spirit Feather. And you've met her before. She's done readings with us before, but I want to introduce her so that you get to know her on a very different level. You get to know the Spirit Feather. And how are you doing, Spirit Feather? Tell me
Pretty
what's happening with you.
Um, well, I seem to be shifting in the energies a lot lately. In a good way. New ways of operating. It's a lot more gentler. Which is surprising because we have that crunch time energy going on right now. But I'm
But you're
evolving.
already committed.
Yeah.
So basically,
In
I
a good
don't.
way. New ways of operating. It's a lot more gentler. Which is surprising because we have that crunch time energy going on.
Okay, something's going on. Hang on.
Yeah.
Don't just hang on for a minute while I try to stupid much thing. It I don't know, won't let me in. Hi, Jennifer. Okay, something's going on. Hang on. I'm sorry. Just hang on for a minute while I try to. If I put it down, I'll lose the comments. But if I don't put it down, we're going to have that double voice. Let me see if I can do it this way. I got it. Okay, now we can talk. I just have to figure out how to get it back so that I can see what we're doing.
Yeah, platform is always changing all the time, which doesn't help.
No. Show all. I don't want to show. Okay, show all. And I don't have Elle here. Dang her hide.
Missing our disembodied voice.
I need Elle here. I know I shouldn't let her go. So talk. I can't tell you. Let me see if I can find it on here.
Yeah, I could pull it up on my laptop too. It's just difficult.
It's tabard. I cannot do. I have to be very careful what I say, right?
So I guess I will talk a little bit about the decks that I have.
Yeah, that would be a good idea since I'm having trouble.
It's okay.
Trouble finding.
So when everything gets figured out, I have 4 decks. I have the Affirmators. This is more about relationships, connections. I have another Affirmators deck, which is more about like self-help. And then I have healing deck as well, which is a little bit smaller, but it's the Tree of Life, which is for example, here's one. Be aware that your thoughts and feelings are just as impactful as your actions. So it's that sort of energy. And then I have the Raven deck, which is about the size of my head. So
it's huge, right?
It is, and like I have a hard time handling it because it's like so much bigger than my hands. I drop them all the time, but
well, when they drop them, doesn't that basically mean you get to answer that? It gives you all the questions that you want right there.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what I do when they drop out. I just grab them and say, "Yep, this is mine."
Mm-hmm. I call them jumpers. I like when they jump out because then I know there's a lot of energy behind it. Like sometimes I'll be shuffling, the whole deck will just explode.
Yep, that's the way I feel about them too. Well, that I never have them explode actually.
It's happened to me.
Sorry, I'm still looking for everything. We haven't got any questions here. I just have my daughter taunting me about how I'm doing. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Why don't I talk about the crunch time energy?
Sure, do that.
So, as we discussed in the 2021 predictions, this is supposed to be the year of the heart, the year of connecting, but there's sort of a shadow side to that, which is a shadow side to just about everything, where in order to foster connections that are true and are connected in the heart space and the soul, that also means that we have to strip away the things that are in the way of that. So I'm noticing that a lot of people are hitting this, as you call it, so we talked about it, the do or die moment, meaning that it's we don't have the room anymore to sort of turn the other cheek. So we're being forced to look at the things that no longer work. So that can be marriages that aren't love-based anymore, things being stripped away in order to find the true person you're meant to be with. That could be a job, friends, and unfortunately sometimes even family members. So it feels like we are being put into another funnel and forced to strip away things that no longer work. And I find if you resist, you're going to have a really hard time, unfortunately. But if you kind of go with the flow and let things fall away, it just flows better. And I was having that sort of happening within myself. I was resisting, oddly enough, success. I am almost scared of success because of what it means.
Well, you're not the
And,
only one. I mean, I think most people who are on the spiritual path have that fear.
and I have these periods where like I kind of curl up and go into a hermit mode. And I almost was making excuses for myself, saying, oh, I'm in hermit mode because I'm preparing, which is sort of true, but I would take it a little further and just not come back out. And I keep having opportunities to come forward. And of course, I always say yes. And that is kind of the universe forcing me like, hey, come on, wake up. No more hiding.
I think I got it. It only took me what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
I love technology.
That's not, that's my daughter's fault. I'm going to blame her completely. Yeah, she should have been here. Okay. Anyhow, yeah, no, that's real. That's true. Maria's here. Mustafa is back. Tyler is here. Let's see who else. Erica Brooks, John, Blessing Ladies, my daughter taunting me, and Jennifer Swap. So yeah, we actually wanted to get to know you a little better, and I think you've done a fabulous job of stepping in and letting us know you a bit more with my falling down on technology.
Yeah,
And truthfully, I'm always going to fall down on technology.
me too.
But we wouldn't be Wisdom Seekers if we weren't messed up in technology.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
There is perfection in the imperfections. We'll just look at it like that.
I think so. I think we're just going to go with that one. So thank you, Mustafa. He said we're doing great. Well, we're surviving. Let's put it that way. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your history. You were born in the north of Ontario.
Actually, I was born in Niagara Falls, and then we moved up north, and I spent pretty much all my formative years up north on a farm in the wilderness. We had 1,000 acres of forest. I had chickens, horses. And then
Nice.
when I was 12, I moved back down here.
Well, that's too bad.
I
mean,
know.
that is a dream childhood.
It really was. And like I could go take a horse, go for a trail ride, be out there for hours, have water and all that, and just exist. I miss it a lot.
Yeah. And did you find when you were there, I went out for rides and everything, did you find that the energy was different for you?
Yes, huge. It was so much more calming and just really healing and not so busy. When I moved down here, and I like to call it the concrete jungle, because it feels like everything, your signals are jammed. You kind of feel suffocated in the energy, and it just doesn't feel, I guess, natural.
I 100% understand that. I do not like to go to the coast because when I get to the coast, I feel like I'm being smothered by all the people energy.
Yeah, and it's like staticky at the same time. Doesn't feel very nice.
Yeah, and it's really difficult to breathe. At least I find it. I don't live actually in the far north, so to speak. We don't have 1,000 acres, but
Yeah, I was
there's
really lucky.
a lot more space here than there is down on the coast. So yeah, it'd be very difficult.
Yeah, I go up north still once a year because my brother still lives up there. Lucky bugger.
Yeah.
Um,
Does he live on
even
the farm?
no, he actually had his own house, but he sold it now. He's kind of in between. But he had his own place in a place called Berks Falls where it was just forest, dirt roads. Even just going up there for a little bit and coming back, it's just like I don't like it here.
Yeah, you feel clean. It feels clean, right?
Yeah, and I just remember being there and looking up and seeing all the crows just circling around. I'm like, I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah. We're in the mountains. Mountains have another sense of being clear, clean.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, when I imagine my home in a 3D sense, there's a mountain in the background always.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've been in the as far back as Thunder Bay in Ontario.
Ooh,
So
been up there yet.
with the red soil.
So cool.
Yeah. But that's just when he drove through it. Why did I drive through it? I don't know. I can't remember. I lived in Ontario. I lived not very far from where you are. I lived in London, Ontario for about 5 years.
That's about an hour away, maybe. I'm bad with
Oh, it's
geography.
more like 3 or 4 or 5.
Oh, wow.
I used to, with people came to visit and we took them to visit Niagara Falls. It was quite a long trip.
Yeah, imagine
Just,
it's like a whole day type of thing.
yeah. And I've been to Niagara Falls a few times. I think we even went through St. Catharines once.
That's where I
Yeah.
am.
I guess that's not, I shouldn't really point that out, but
Well.
yeah. But
But no,
it is, there's a powerful energy in Niagara Falls.
it is. It's like you stand there and you're just like, wow. But at the same time, it gets really cold because of the lake effect because it's moist, right? So
Uh-huh.
our winters I found are a lot worse down here than up north.
They're wet.
Yeah, and it gets to your
It's because where I am, it's not really wet like it would be on the ocean,
Mhm,
and it's not really dry, so we get niddle. But
mhm,
soon as it starts to melt, your bones start to ache.
mhm. Yeah, but I must say one thing I don't miss about up north is having to put chains on your tractor wheels and do all that by yourself. That was
Yeah,
also
yeah,
fun.
yeah. Yeah, here, well, where you are, you can get away with all seasons, right?
Yes. Yeah, for the most part. Like we haven't really had like a really good snow yet this year. Like it's dusted, but it's melted pretty much right away.
Yeah. And what what brought you into the spiritual energy, the spiritual life?
Oh
I mean,
gosh.
obviously you grew up in it. Even within the home, it was not the same energy. For you, you personally you grew up within it.
Yeah, I've always just kind of felt different. And I used to talk to myself as a child, but I knew I wasn't talking to just myself. So as I got older, I started to seek out why I felt different, why I seemed to react to life differently than other people, and why I saw things that no one else was seeing, like orbs and stuff. And that's sort of where it began. And then I went through, as everyone knows, the Great Awakening that we usually all have, where things in your life fall apart and get stripped away. And I started becoming who I really am and understanding deeper, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
that doesn't happen to everybody. I didn't have that.
You did? Oh, I
Actually,
went through stories about it.
yeah, a lot of people do. A lot. That's why how many people wake up. But my story was quite slightly different. I'll tell it another time.
You have to do this now. I'm curious.
So, so just hang on, Jen. Can we do it another time? Huh?
I think I hear doggies down there.
Yeah, and people keep talking and keeps moving, and I'm trying to keep it for the questions because people have a few questions, but I still like to talk to you a bit more. So I forget what I was saying, so I'm going to ask this question instead. We were talking about the Great Awakening. When you stepped onto the path, did you suddenly, and I know our journey or whatever you want to call it, did you suddenly feel, wow, this just feels so right?
Yes, I felt like my entire life previous that I wasn't being who I truly am. Like I was like putting on a mask for other people and for myself, honestly. I wasn't being true to myself. So once I started going down my path, it felt like I found myself, my own home within myself.
And that's very important. Being aware of that you are an individual within the great sea.
It took me a while to finally be myself to the world, because like and people, I don't know if people usually talk about, but there's a kind of shame I had about being who I was, because some people don't see spirituality as legitimate, I guess. So it took me a while, but once I did, it was really freeing just to be
Yeah,
me.
no, my father used to tell my mother, don't you tell her that she was right. Don't you tell her.
Sounds like my grandfather.
Yeah. But you know what? We are who we are.
Mm.
And Elizabeth makes a comment, there are three legs, right? There's the physical leg, there's the mental leg, and there's the spiritual leg. We are definitely probably a little wobbly on the physical and the mental, but really strong on the spiritual.
That's true. Sometimes I have a hard time being human.
Yeah, and that's one thing I found. I recently just realized I don't do metaphysical. I am metaphysical. And I suspect you find that within yourself too, that you are more, that you identify not with what you can do, but that it is you.
Yes, yes, and it is my essence basically.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is just kind of labels.
So how do you take it outside of yourself?
Mm.
I
When
mean,
you
I know when I first met you, you were talking about healing, and I know you and Nicola talked a great deal about that, and she thinks you're pretty good. But that was your first foray into spirituality, right?
hmm You want to know how I sort of jumped into it?
Yeah.
Um, I owe a lot to Nicola and you guys, obviously, but I started having dreams kind of that pointed me towards helping people. So I kind of did my own research and saw what everyone else was doing and kind of copied them at first, and then it sort of blended into my own. So, what in regards to healing is I would often counsel a lot of people, and I still do, and sort of adapt to what they need. Um,
So you
it,
adapt to the level they're at.
and when I counsel them, I guess I owe a lot to my guides too. Like I just know what they need. I can feel it. And so it can be energy healing, it can be addressing cycles and patterns, all sorts of things. Sometimes people just need an ear too. They just need you to listen.
So basically, you're not learning anything new. You're remembering who you are.
Yeah, because I just remember it's like the knowledge just is there. I'm just accessing it for the first time.
Do you have any idea where you're accessing it from? Who you were in another lifetime?
I I feel I was a medicine woman.
That would be one of them. Tell me a little bit about that.
I it was not of this earth, this planet.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was similar, but a more loving, easier energy type place that was a lot of nature. And I was part of a tribe, and I was from a line of medicine women and men. And I did a lot of healing for people. So it's my cat. Um, she likes the energy. So it's just always been there. Like it's in my energetic DNA to heal, I think.
That makes you metaphysical rather than doing metaphysical.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Literally in my energetic DNA. It's my energetic signature, as I call it.
Okay, can I ask a question that's totally irrelevant?
Of course.
What did you look like?
Similar to what I look like now, but my eyes were brighter, sharp. They weren't dark.
And what color was your skin?
Darker, actually, than I have now.
Well, considering you're not very dark right now, that doesn't mean much.
Well, I think I was just like I looked more native because I'm Native and Irish, so I'm mixed, right? So it was darker, but
So your skin wasn't maybe a pale green or pale mauve or something like that?
no, when I see it, it was like a reddish tinge.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So
my eyes are like this silvery color, like almost shimmering, like it's not like the eyes you would see here.
all right.
Mm.
So with you step back a little bit from that, is there any chance that you were that your ancestors from that planet may have helped seed part of the planet we're on now?
Mm-hmm. Very much so. I just call them my ancestors. They're always around. And I think they're helping to implement what we call the new world, which we've talked about. New energy. Because the way we are now can't keep going this way.
No, the way we are now, it does need to change, but it needs to change from the grassroots.
Mm-hmm.
And we are the grassroots. I mean, how you do things, not how unimaginative people who are stuck in the physical and mental areas, but people like us. And there are a lot of people out there who are strong in all three of them, not just the one. But we're needed too. So
Mm-hmm.
do you also go back to Atlantean ancestry or?
Yes, I do. And I actually had a really intense meditation, which I think I told you about, where I saw a Lemurian stone, and that's how it sort of popped in. And now I have Lemurian and Atlantean guides that help me. It's a different kind of energy. Like it's, of course, out of this world, but it's really bright. And I think they are trying to prevent from another Atlantis happening here.
Yeah, the Lemurian, my understanding was that the people from Lemuria, they actually reached enlightenment and they left in mass.
Mm-hmm.
And when they left in mass, they didn't realize that they would create a empty space.
Mm-hmm.
And the Atlanteans were more logical. So
Mm-hmm.
without the more spiritual to balance it out, the
Right.
Atlanteans had more trouble and they started to descend rather than ascend.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of what caused there was more than one falling out of Atlantis. I think there's 3 or 4 times, and Atlantis was not one island; it was a few islands around.
Yeah, I recognize the energy, but I didn't do my research as I should have.
Oh, it comes to you when it's time. But one of the points where Atlantis was Ireland. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And the Irish were one of the groups that never had what they called the burning times. So the genetics for the psychic and spiritual was not taken out of them as same as maybe in Middle Europe.
That was
Not
a
Middle Europe,
Salem.
but Europe.
Yeah. That was the Salem trials, I think, where they were trying to get rid of a lot of spiritual people.
I think in Salem, it was a lot of more likely trying to get rid of people they didn't like. They're more likely, I want that land or I don't like that woman because I think that, so they use that a lot but
Mm-hmm.
but the burning times were about 500 years that the
Mm-hmm.
Catholic Church decided to go after.
Is that Templar age?
It came right after the Knights Templar on the 13th of Friday the 13th.
A little bit about that.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do your readings, do you pull out? You pull from where? Do you know where you pull from, or they just come to you?
Well, first, it's always my heart, because if I don't come from the heart space, it just doesn't work. But it's almost like they know that I'm so open to do what they need me to that they just come in, and I can feel what I need to do. And it's very depending on the person, because there's some people who have Atlantean energy, so I work with the Atlanteans. Some people have Native American energy like I do. I pull from them, and that is really strong for me. So it's very, I guess, versatile. I just kind of go with the flow, which is actually new for me, because there was a time when I would not go with the flow. Maybe people have heard it.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty scary, isn't it? When you first start out, it's very scary, and you're trying to be perfect because you think you have to be perfect,
like, oh no, I'm gonna screw up. What if I screw up?
and then you learn that you don't have to be perfect.
Yeah, because as spiritual as we are, we're still in a human body and we have a human brain, so we're gonna mess stuff up sometimes.
Well, one of the things I hear you saying a lot, and I hear a lot of spiritual people saying, onion rings, onion rings.
Mm-hmm.
And so we learn something, but we have to learn another variation of it later on.
Every time we complete another circle, we go in deeper and learn a deeper truth and understanding.
You'd think that after 20, 30 years, you get to the core, but
No, I think it's a lifelong thing.
I think as long as you're living and breathing, you're learning.
And I think if you stop learning and you're done, that's when you pass on, when you're finished.
I think so. I think when you're finished, and then it's time to leave.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just time to leave. We've been talking for half an hour. Well, minus 10, I guess, because I messed up. Would you like to answer some questions?
Sure, definitely.
Okay, I might ask you a few more questions while you're doing it because I like the way you read. So Tyler Swab, she says, I want to know if you see me getting a job this year. I'm not quite sure on what I want to do yet.
Okay, I'm going to take this deck for you and see what you get. I'm already getting a yes.
How come you chose that deck?
This deck, because it's a self-help deck and it's, I guess, not as love-based.
Oh, okay.
So
I know because you just picked it and grabbed it and said, this is the one I'm choosing.
I could just feel it. I'm learning to not second guess myself anymore.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
But my brain did that thing again. So could you repeat the question?
Oh, okay. She says she wants to know if she's going to get a job this year.
I felt right away yes. Oh, courage. So have courage to try something new and to go after a new job. When I'm feeling it a lot is that it might not be, I guess, your ideal, but have the courage to try something new. I think it'll be good. And like we discussed earlier that, hey, you might not be super good at it first, but keep trying because you're human, you're allowed to mess up. So keep an eye out for something different.
I almost feel like she needs to make a job.
Spirituality?
I think that would be probably one of probably the best bet for her. But it's almost like
Artsy, arts and crafts, kind of hands-on.
Something like that. And it might be that she needs to start out with somebody. So what you're telling her basically is to look outside the box for the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly the energy I get too. So her mom says, Okay, Jennifer Schwab said her mom says, does Spirit have any advice on whether or not my family will be able to find a new home near my daughter Sydney in Fairfield, Iowa? We have been having a hard time finding a home that will be a good fit for my family. Thank you.
So without pulling a card, I get the feeling right away that she might want to look at a different location, but let me pull a Raven card because that's what I was drawn to right away. So her card is Taste the Frontier, wander along the boundary fence and feel its special energy. When you have had just enough, go back. I'm having a tough one with this energy, but it feels more like, again, broadening your viewpoint, being open to a home that it just feels like it might not be in the area you're hoping, and just to try to be open to something different. Because I know she says Iowa, but what do you feel? I had a bit of a tough one with that one.
Yeah, no, it's she's been looking for this new home for a while. And I think you're right. I think it's not going to be exactly in the location she wants, but it'll probably be within like 20 minutes of where she wants.
Yeah, because that's funny because what I saw, on Facebook, you can search like a range of where you want to look. I just saw like that range opening up. So, yeah.
And I always see semi, not city, but semi-country. Yeah. So as Tyler said, that's how I got into spirituality too, Spirit Feather.
Oh, so cool.
And Jennifer says, I grew up feeling different as well. I didn't tell people the experiences I was having with Spirit and people who have passed away. I was very confused until I became an adult. I was afraid to tell anyone. And now I don't hold back as much as on my experiences.
That's great. Yeah, because at first you think everyone's going to think you're crazy.
Well, they do.
Yep.
Pardon?
Unless you're mean, then you don't care.
Oh, no, but people do think.
No, I know.
I know, I had that too. So Mustafa says, any advice for me, please? The last advice from Maria really shifted my path. Wow, we'll have to let her know that, Mustafa.
Shifted mine too. You're going to have to take this one. I know him personally.
Okay, so advice, hang on. Oh, let me, so Lily is the next one. I'll let you do that. And how do you feel for other people? I can hardly get clear on my feelings. Maria's on now. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to answer Mustafa's.
No, I was going to let you talk about Lily and well, I find out about Mustafa. So I am
Sorry.
pronouncing his name right, eh? How do you say the last name?
Lazaidi? I don't know. I never say it right.
Okay.
So what was Lily's? She wants to know. I like how we both spaced out there. That's funny.
So that's what we call dead air.
Yeah, we're just like, do okay.
That's all right.
Yeah. So what was Lily's again?
She wants to know, how do you feel for other people? I can hardly get clear on my feelings.
So
That's a good one for you, actually.
the card that you got was acceptance. So this feels more like trusting yourself, accepting what you're getting and not rejecting it right away. And it's usually, at least for me when I was learning, it was the first thing that popped up before my brain took over and started questioning it and picking it apart. So, and also as far as physical sensations, if your heart and your stomach, if it just feels right, like if you can kind of take away the mind aspect and just feel, you'll know. But of course, practice. Just practice.
Yeah.
Makes it great.
Lily's a little older than you, but I mean, or maybe a couple of years.
Her intuition feels on point, though. It's just.
She's really good. Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
And I think in that case, it's basically she's not quite trusting, not
Yeah, that's what she
trusting
got through.
herself completely. And she
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily want to believe what she picks up because she
Especially
wants
if
to
it's.
see everybody is as good, and not everybody is.
No, unfortunately.
And there's a lot of people who have a lot of fears and things.
And what she could do, because I'm sure she has people around her that she can trust. If you can try feeling for people and not a personal matter for you, that's a good way to do it. Starting at third person perspective as far as reading energy, and auto writing is coming in for you too. You could try just keeping your hand busy while you feel. You
That's a
never
good
know.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
So Mustafa, the first thing I got from you was you were afraid I was going to see too much. Well, I can't. I don't go deep. But I also at the same time got the feeling that you really want to be like Spirit Feather, very, very good at what you at readings and things like that, but you don't believe you have that ability, and that's part of the fear. Is that if you open up and allow yourself to be open, that you're afraid you'll fall apart. Well, you won't. You just come together, honestly. And your guides are in there. They're saying you all you have to do is listen. You don't have to do anything spectacular. You just listen, because you're already getting more than you realize. It's ultimately it ends up in that trust yourself is more important than anything else you can do. You can look at what other people do and spend time with the Spirit Feather, spend time with us, because spirituality is contagious and you catch it. So the more you spend time online with us, talking to us, visiting with us, the more it'll become, more you will just naturally adjust or grow with it. It's the only thing I would really recommend is one thing in spirituality, and other people will tell you differently, but this is what I'll tell you. In spirituality, if there's fear, retreat. But if there's what you want to do, anything you want to do in spirituality, you have to do without fear, because fear is the only way that they can stop you. So if you have fear, get out until you don't have fear, then go back in. All right. So your fear that you're not good enough, that's ego. Apologize, but that is ego. You fear that you're never going to amount to anything intuitively and things. Again, that's ego. Once you clear it away, you will find you have a lot of gifts, and I'm going to leave it at that. But Spirit Feather will let you know when things are shifting for you. All right.
I'll help him if he's open and wants to start doing readings. I'll tell him how to protect himself and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now, he just needs exercises and trust, self-trust.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be doing readings for people like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that we connect with people for a reason, and that might be why.
Yeah. And I guess I missed something here. Nikki says, "Oh no, you just give your best from your soul, not what others expect," and that's true, Lily. And she says, "Can you?" Oh, so I should have waited. Can you give me an insight on love, general energy, general that you're picking up? And you're really good with that.
This is
So
Nikki.
no, this is Lily still. And I jumped ahead and we answered something else, but
Okay. I will take an affirmator card. Hmm. I just saw a flicker of light. Okay, so I was getting right away. How do I word this? Needing to release the energy of the past first before being able to walk forward. And it's funny because I did a reading on my Dancing with Spirit page that one of them is once you let go of energy from the past, things that hurt because they were just lessons, there is something there waiting for you just outside that energy. And your card is perspective. So if you can look at things from a different perspective and not blame yourself so much, it should help you to release, and then things will shift for the better for you. Sometimes releasing the past is hard, but that seems to be the biggest message. Because when we release old energy, it leaves a space for new energy.
so Nikki has a comment for you and a question. She says, "Do you feel that my knee will need operating on, or will it feel better soon? And thank you, Spirit Feather, for the healing the other day. My stomach is inflamed, but no ulcer.
Oh,
Thought you
good.
would like to know that."
Yes, thank you. Because I knew I felt irritation in there, but I wasn't sure. Okay. I do feel that you are going to need surgery on your knee, but I feel like you're going to actually heal okay. No complications or anything, so it'll be okay. But yes, you will need surgery on your knee.
I
Sorry.
got that too.
Yeah.
So Nikki has a don't do that.
For you and and I'll send you healing and stuff too, Nikki. Just let me know when you have your surgery, and I'll send some energy your way.
Well, not, and she's on the group. She can put it out for the group. We have a lot of heavy duty hitters on the group. Spirit Feather's a little got more finesse, but if you she can take that energy and
Implement it.
manipulate it.
Mhm.
You just don't be afraid to ask. Don't anybody be afraid to ask for healing on from the group. We,
Mhm.
like I say, really makes a difference.
Mhm.
And Tyler says, "Thank you. I have thought about having a spiritual job and have also thought arts and crafts. I have mostly thought a lot about painting. I definitely want to work at home and be my own boss." Key, what you can do with your artistic is put out an online paint your guides, paint your soulmate,
Paint people's auras.
paint people's auras. They're all interested in that sort of thing. And if you make it very simple, you can sell them for like $15 a picture. Then you don't have any overhead. Well, paper and pencil. You can scan it, send it out, and that way you don't have to have the worry about hard copies or things like that. You don't do it, of course, before you get paid. And
No.
you're going to be very busy very soon. You know, all
Yeah.
you need is a wiki. I think their wiki page.
Hmm.
A wiki page is a free page, and then we'll put you into wisdom seekers and things like that. But I know I'm doing things like I got a picture of my soulmate. It cost me $10. Was not my soulmate. Not unless I'm like 20, 25, 30 years old. But it was fun. And that's the thing that's important. It was fun. Oh shoot. No. Okay, my sleeping, she says her sleeping schedule's all over the place. She has knee and shoulder pain.
Oh, goodness.
And there's a lot of us that cannot work for outside. It's very difficult for many of us who are in the spiritual realm to
It's
be
harder
able.
on the nervous system. Like, we
Mhm.
can feel everything so intensely, at least for me. Like, I'm so sensitive. Like, I can feel when someone's not in a good mood.
And then it pushes you off balance, right?
Yeah.
And then
And
you
it's
have
hard to-
somebody else is having a bad day and you make mistakes.
Mhm.
I know, I've been there, got that t-shirt.
Mhm.
And Lily says, yes, I love this spiritual family. It feels like a group. This feels like family, and it does. And Lily's been part of her family for a while. And Jennifer says, I have been looking into the country occasionally as well, still near my daughter, but with a little more privacy and beautiful nature to wake up to and enjoy every day. Nature makes me feel at peace and I feel happiness. I love the quiet. And when I see your home, I always see trees and sort of kind of nature, not wild nature, but nature. Eh. So Patricia Scowen says, hi, Elisha, Spirit Feather, Al. Can I have a message hard dealing with this stupid world at the moment? It really is. But one thing I know that will make you feel a little better. I think it was Arkansas is putting into place a law that they will not pay for the anything that has to do with alternate ways of teaching what a human being is.
Mhm.
I think I can say that and not get kicked off the air.
Mhm.
So things are, the individual states are starting to stand up for their rights.
That's good. So this is Patricia, right?
Yeah, Patricia's going.
All right, Patricia, you got the first Tree of Life card today, and yours says, seek to enlarge your appreciation of the beauty of nature, animals, and humans. So this feels like spending time with those you love, which I know is hard given everything in the world, but having moments of connecting with another, even if it's just a pet. And I know it sounds silly, but when I'm cranky or when I wake up in the morning, I list all the things around me that I'm thankful for. And it kind of makes it a little easier, like, wow, it sort of softens the energy. But I feel if you can spend time, even just on like live Zooms with people and connecting and trying to get your mind off things, that it might help.
I think, and walks in nature. I think she lives in Wales, I think, and there's some beautiful, I suspect there's some beautiful nature walks out there.
Yeah, because nature is very healing and grounding. And I know when I was frazzled in the past and I went for a walk, when I got home, I'd feel so much better. It's hard forcing yourself to get out there and do it, but once you're done, it's nice.
And Lily says, sometimes I get some feelings for other people, like certain things will happen or not for them, but then I feel negative when I feel something negative for other people and I give up. I doubt it. Unfortunately, the negative things do happen to people, and that's usually a lesson. And if you can ascribe it to a lesson rather than good things happen to bad people, bad things happen to good people, it might be a lesson that they obviously need. And I know nothing's happened to me that I didn't need to learn that lesson. Whether easy or good was another things. And some of my lessons took for 30 years.
Yeah, it's
encountering.
hard being the bearer of bad news when you pick up on something negative. Like if you know something bad's gonna happen, it's almost like we try to find a way around it. We don't want to tell them.
And sometimes it's not your place to tell either.
Yeah, because sometimes they're not ready. I've noticed that too. If they're not ready to hear and understand, they'll reject it.
And you can only talk to the level the people are at. And
Mhm.
so I was accused once of never giving bad news. Well, the truth is, I'm really good at giving bad news, so it sounds good. So there's ways of saying things where you can warn them because nothing's set in stone, and if they can find an alternative way of dealing with it, then you've done the best you can. But you can't take away their lesson. You can
Mhm.
only suggest sort of, can only suggest, and to be careful on this day maybe, or watch out, drive that car, have the brakes checked for this week and things like that.
Mhm.
Nothing, you cannot take away people's right to learn.
No, because you're taking away soul growth at that point. Like there's some certain things they have to learn.
And sometimes too, people have, if it's really negative, sometimes people have just chosen, they're tired and they want out.
Mhm.
And that's just the way it is. And Tyler says she agrees, and Lily says thank you, and Tyler says I do the same thing. And Mustafa says thank you, blue hearts. Champagne says hey, and hey Champagne. And Miniki says thank you, I'm going for MRI on the 18th next month. You've
That's
got a
not.
little bit of time to heal then.
Mhm.
Hang on, go away. Okay, so I'm lost again. Hang on. Okay, that one I read. Patricia says, write that all down, Jennifer, for the universe and put it under your mattress. Tell them you'd really love this to happen. Hope your cats are okay.
Hey, that's
And
good.
okay, I like that. Patricia Scone has a good sense of humor. She says, a toy boy, Elisha.
Oh.
uh, Paige Monsu says, could I get a message? Do y'all see a baby in my future? And she's from Louisiana. And so when she says y'all, that's her. It's really her. She's a friend of Elizabeth's.
I'm gonna let you take that one if that's okay.
Yeah, you've been talking to Paige, have you?
No, it's foggy, so I'm gonna let you.
Oh, okay, no problem. No hay problema. I believe there is. I unfortunately don't feel that the baby is soon. Not within, you're not going to likely to conceive within the next 3 months. I feel that there is something in your body that is resisting allowing a child to attach. If you're a big milk eater or drinker, or you like cheeses and stuff like that, you may want to cut down a great deal on that,
Oh,
because
something popped in. Meat too. Sorry, I just popped in.
yeah, no, that's
Red meat.
fine.
Red meat.
Because I just feeling it's her body that's hindering her
Mhm.
from conceiving. And I saw milk, sort of like milk creates a mucus, and it
Yeah.
puts a film over the female parts, and that would cause her to not be able to, the child couldn't implant in the uterus.
Yeah. It was foggy, but it didn't feel cemented. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Milk
So,
is kind of.
so I think I also see that if you can, and I know generally where you're from, if you can go out and do some fishing and eat the fish you catch. That would mean less Popeyes, more home cooking. Less deep fried, more baked. Just until your body has cleared up a little bit. And I will tell Elizabeth what I've got, and she can tell you a little bit more because she knows the cooking around there better than I do. And it is quite a different style than it is here. And Jennifer says, "Thank you for the lovely advice, Patricia." Okay, I will leave that. That's it. Tyler says, "That's interesting, Elijah. I have never thought about mixing spirituality and art." Well, artwork is basically channeling.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
But as a kid, a lot, or I realize it now, didn't then, where I'd be channeling my art.
yeah, well, you can still do that. Yeah, so like this, right?
Mhm.
Uh, and Champagne says, "So I have a question. I'm going through a weird situation currently in my love life area. Any type of advice on how to deal with it? Need an outside perspective. Ugh. Thank you." And
So, my brain did the thing again. What's your name? Champagne?
Champagne.
I felt right away before drawing you a card, communication, but easier, more gentle communication. The person that you are with seems to be sensitive, and if you can change how you communicate, things might go smoother. You got the maturity card. So I will read it to you. I make peace with the tough relationships of my past. I probably would have skipped the pain they came with, but I'm grateful for the lessons they brought me. So there could be some past energy sort of lingering around that's making things a little bit tough. But if you can come from a place that is sort of fresh and communicate a little more gentler, and I'm hearing not putting the crimes of a past person onto, and that could be vice versa, he could be doing that to you, things might ease up a little bit. But communication seems really important, like changing how you communicate. What do you feel?
No, that's good advice.
My energy's starting to get kind of foggy, so I'm just like,
Yeah, we're just about finished. We've been on for an hour, and that's plenty. Unless your name's Elizabeth, that's good. Okay, so Lily says, no, sometimes people are not ready to hear, and you don't have to be negative. Patricia says, "Thank you, Spirit. Feather Wales is a lovely walk. I walk a lot. I like to go by water. We have snow this week. There is an article online at the moment. Read this." Oh, because I don't, yeah, I would say that Wales is not a place you get a lot of snow, but it's really cold and windy. At least that's what I've read. I've never been there. Champagne says, "I feel like I'm dealing with another karmic Elisha. I've done the work, but I think this might be the last of the lessons." I hope so. And that's very probable. Jennifer said, if that's the case, then you know that song, "Walk on by, walk on down by the corner, let them go." I don't know
remember
why they get this song. They give me songs. Nobody even knows them anymore.
they do the same thing to me. Like, I'll wake up and I'll have a song in my head for the first 10 minutes. I'm just like, what is that? Okay, I have to Google it.
Yeah. Jennifer says, "Thank you for the reminder, Elisha, about asking for healing help. I'm private and don't always remember to ask for the healing energy for myself or family. I will do that for my dad. He woke up with his right side of his head feeling sore. It feels better now, but healing prayers would be so appreciated. And ask for your daughter. I mean, pregnancy is really, I'm sure a lot of people would love to have a little bit of extra help when they're pregnant. And Paige says, I'm on the keto diet and I have been eating a lot of dairy. Yeah, keto may not be your primary choice.
Mhm.
I am so sorry for that. But it seems to be messing up your body a little bit. I like a lot of the diets from food, the recipes from keto, but
Yeah, they're pretty good. I was on keto for a while too, but
yeah.
it was making my heart flutter and made me feel weird. So I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this might not be
it is. It's not a lifetime job. It's not a lifetime one, that's for sure.
Mhm.
So Lily says, have a good night because it's midnight here. Sweet dreams, ladies. Okay, I think we're just okay then. Jennifer says, pray for your wishes to come true. Yep. Champagne says, good card, just girl. Good card, just that I would just what I posted of my karmic relationship from the past and point and accurate. Thank you. That helps. Communication is an issue. Patricia says, no snow for a long time. Sabi put it on Wisdom Seekers. The Indian writes it. He's very interesting. Oh, I'll have to go look. We are done.
Woo, that
So-
was fun.
Yeah, it was. And aside from I think it's synonymous with me and Wisdom Seekers tech problems. It was great.
I now understand how that feels too.
Have you been putting your
Pick a card.
YouTube on to Wisdom Seekers?
No, I forget. Mind you, I need to actually do another video because I haven't.
Okay, because I've been looking for them and I haven't seen them. And
I
that's
was actually gonna do one tomorrow. I just need to figure out. They keep pulling me towards like love pick a cards, but I don't know. We'll see what they.
so remember, timeless and pick a card. You want those in your title. That way you get more cards. Then with love, you're going to get tremendous number.
It's funny because I said, oh, I'm never gonna do love readings, and here I am.
You're really good at love readings. We have a couple ladies that are really good with love readings, and I'm going to spill the beans. Maria is going to put out a new reading. I am so excited about it. And right now she's Spirit Feathers making up a ad for it. We have a picture for you. And next time Maria's on, we're going to go in depth into it. But it is candle readings. And she just told me she's got gypsy in her soul. And she hasn't put that out. So we have a gypsy reader on our site. Yay.
Gypsy reader.
A Greek gypsy reader, in fact, not just a gypsy reader. She's from Greece, which is pretty cool.
She showed me a little bit about it, and it was really neat. She showed me a little bit about it, and it was really cool how she does it.
Yeah, I know. We're going to write up a little bit of a write up and put it on the website and on Facebook. But I am so excited because I think this is something people are going to really love. Tyler says, goodbye, everyone. Thank you both for the answers as well as your time and energy. You both are amazing. Namaste. And Paige says, thank you. Thank you all. I wish I could say it the way Elizabeth says it.
Y'all.
And Mostel says, thank you for time and effort. Thank you. So we should go.
I'm hungry, a little bit tired.
Namaste. Namasko.
Thank you, everyone.
Many people are looking for love. There's a lot of lonely hearts with the lockdown keeping souls apart. I agree. And February is the month of love. We are going to specialize in. We have great readers when it comes to love. Not me particularly, but Spirit Feather, Maria, and Elizabeth. And if you want to know whether your doggies love somebody, we have Sabi.
Yeah, she's great.
Bye.
Bye.